YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. How you doing today? Everything's going okay, I hope. You hear that noise? I got to get the heater going. It's getting chilly out there. Well, I wanted to do a quick video in the series of kind of making a knife. I think I'm going to title it something like that, like Knife Making 101 or Knife Making Ideas. Something along those lines. But, oh, let me shut the radio off here before YouTube demonetizes me. There we go. Yeah, so let's sit down and I'll tell you what this video is going to be about. Well, actually, the title already says it, but let's get sitting. Alrighty, everybody, so yeah, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to title this series, but I think I'm going to make it a little series on just giving you guys ideas about knife making. I haven't been doing it long enough to think that I could be teaching too many people anything, but I think I might have enough experience and time and knowledge under my belt that I can give you some ideas, and maybe I'm a good sounding board. You know, you can check my YouTube out and check out some other folks' YouTube videos out, and you can head over to ckknifeandtool.com. You can see the knives I've made. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that little red button. Okay, I don't care about the bell. You don't have to be notified all the time. Okay, I understand emails get inundated, but hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think. But what I was thinking about doing is just making this kind of like Knife Making 101 or Knife Making Ideas. And putting a little library together, a little playlist, showing ideas and what you want to do with stuff. So in previous videos, the last two videos, you went through the idea of me gluing up scales on a knife, and it happened to be this knife right here. Then we went ahead and we shaped this knife and sanded it all down and took it down to 400 grit, and I applied one coat of True Oil on it. Now, I normally don't do any True Oil until after I do the process in making a sheath, but I did that because I wanted to do it for the video to kind of show closure on shaping the scales and cleaning them up. Today's video is going to be sheath making, and in this particular moment it's going to be Kydex, or actually Holstex, and it's this raptor skin. It's kind of got a leather look. What I'm going to do is bring you guys along on what I do to make a sheath, and it's only this in particular. It's one sheath for this knife and using these materials, as well as like all of my sheaths that do get them. I offer Blade Tech locks. There's a couple other things that I'll touch on later on throughout the year and throughout the video series, but right now it's going to be a Blade Tech lock. So we are going to go ahead with black raptor skin and a tech lock. So the first thing we have to do is we have to put this in the oven. Okay, now like with all these materials, I've got the toaster oven going. It's a nice toaster oven. I got it from Walmart. It had two shelves, but I only use one. I don't use the second rack. The second rack's hiding back there. But it gives me plenty of room to put Kydex in. I can put up a 12 by 12 sheet in there. These are cut to size. They're about 4 by 6. That's plenty big enough for my Jasper. So I throw the Kydex in there. Oven is right around 325, 300 degrees. It gets bumped every now and then. And I leave it on the, just stay on. And I'll do that for a few minutes. You want to be diligent. You don't want to get distracted when you're doing this. When I first got into sheath, making sheaths and such with Kydex, I'd put it in there. I would start doing other stuff on the workbench. I'd get so distracted, and before you know it, I'm smelling something bad, and that is my Kydex melting. So it's a mistake you learn really quickly not to do. So that's warming up. I usually end up going ahead and getting things like my eyelets, which I already did. I got my eyelets right here. I'm using number 8 eyelets, and I get them from Holstex or holstersmith.com. There'll be a link in the description down below, and my Blade Tech lock as well. And then I use thicker washers. I don't use the skinny ones that come with these. I get thicker ones, and again, all of this information will be down below. You can find it. I don't get anything for it. They're not paying me for any of this. I'm just providing you guys a link so you have a useful resource to go get materials. I think they have fair prices. They're down in Georgia, so you can look them up, but it's holstersmith.com. So yeah, I do this. I check on that. I made the press. This press is a bunch of birch plywood, 3/4 of an inch thick. You can get this is actually Kydex foam. You can buy this off Holster Smith or some other places. You can look around even eBay. It comes in a big sheet. There's the other piece right there. I actually bought 2 pieces. It came like that. So I put one right in here. This was 1 sheet. And I press it down. I use the quick clamps. Works out great. So I'm going to go ahead, get this going, and I'll let you guys watch for a little bit. One of the other things really quick, what I do is I actually tape the blade off. I do 2 layers of blue painter's tape on here. And what that does is it allows the Kydex to get a hold of the metal. It won't stick to the metal then, to the blade, but it also gives that ever so bit of a thickness, a difference. So when you take the tape off and you put the knife in there, there's a little bit of leeway. It's not super tight. I like that. It works out really good for me. Okay, put my Kydex like this, or my Holstex, or my Boltron. Make sure it was even. And now I just clamp this up. So that's going to sit for about 10 minutes. I'm going to leave the oven on just in case something shifted or anything like that. That's what I do. I leave the oven on. I wait until that's, I pull it out. It's formed well. It's cooled slightly. I pull it out, and then we'll go ahead and mark where all of our eyelets go. Alrighty, it's had a few minutes. Let's pull this over here and take a look at how it's set up. Okay, there we go. There's our mold, our press. Still a little warm, but it's definitely good. We can take it out now, and that's looking nice like that. See? Nice and formed. Really good. You can even see how you can catch the slight angle of the edge of the blade there. So, held really good. You can see it forms like this, but you can see all the marks on here. This works great. I've been using these 2 pieces for the better part of 2.5 years now, so it holds up really good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, hopefully you guys will have a good enough view on this. This individual is going to be your right-handed. So this is actually going to be the outside of it. So this, my body's going to be here. This is going to be the outside of the knife. In most cases, folks like that if they wear the knife, and if they're a right-handed person, their body's going to be this way, the knife's going to be on the right side, and the eyelet is going to be facing outwards. This is the finished part, or the factory part. Then there's the crimped edge. As you notice, let me bring you in here. If you notice, it's got a little T-shape like this, and when you crimp it, that crimps open, but then it's got a little bit more, like the paint will be removed, and it shows like brass. Here you go. Here, I'll give you an example of this. So see, this is the finished part right there. So as you're looking at it, that's that. And then when you crimp it and you press it in the arbor press, that's what this end looks like right there. So it's not exactly as pretty as that side, but again, some people don't care, but others, they kind of like, what is this? This is a right-handed knife. This is pretty much what that's going to end up looking like. And what's nice is if this goes on the right-hand side of you, and you want to carry this weak side, all you have to do is just take it and put it over on your weak side. Like myself, I don't carry my knife on my right side. I carry it on my left side, but I have it where it's blade facing that way. So I can draw with it a crossbody. I'll grab with my left hand, I'll pull the knife out, and that's how I'll do it. And that's basically what it is. So this will give you an idea what this sheath is going to look like over here by looking at this one here. Now, Blade Tech is really cool because when you use a Tech Lock, you'll notice that the holes are symmetrical going all the way around. So if you mount it like this, okay, with these holes like that, okay, you can actually take the sheath and take this off, invert it, and you'd wear it that way. See, the holes line up still. So you can actually put it this way, and what that does is it actually lets you carry it small the back or across your body. Something, like this, instead of being like this, you carry it like this. But what's also nice is if you put it like this, you can take this and close it over your backpack straps and crimp it down, and then you'd be able to carry the knife like this on your strap and be able to draw from off your side. So what's nice is I go through this and you measure these holes out. All the holes are the same measurement. Oh, like I said, this is the outside of the knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mark this inside. Is I get my little washers, I lay them down here, and the reason why I do that is because the hinge, when this opens and closes, it's going to bump up against the shoulders of the knife here because it's a thick scales. And I put the washers right here on the knife, and I line up my holes in such a way that I can get this lined up and I can make my marks. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to line these up just like this. So the holes of the washers are going to be even with the holes of the Tech Lock. And I'm going to center it off just enough to get a good idea on where it is I want the Tech Lock to sit and make it even. So hopefully you guys are going to get a good view of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to mark those two holes right there. Just going to mark those with the pencil. So take those off. See those washers stay there? Oops, sorry. See those washers right there? Boom. You take it off. There is our marks. There's one pencil mark right there. There's the other one there. That's the 1.5 inches. So when we drill those holes, we put it on. The Tech Lock is going to sit. Oops, sorry. The Tech Lock is going to be sitting just like this because those washers will help make up that gap difference. You see that with the shoulders? So I'll mark the rest of these out and show you how that goes. And this is the one part you're just going to have to eyeball, because now you can see that we have our two holes that are going to be here, two holes that are going to be here, and then we have this hole right here. So we just have to find, you kind of got to find center, and you kind of got to do this and bring it in here, kind of bring it here, because ultimately this is an eyelet and that's an eyelet right there. And then your sheath is coming down. And of course the spine of your knife doesn't taper as much as the blade, so you're not going to be able to follow those contours. What you're trying to do is just keep this symmetrical. I have a piece of 2x6 here that I just notched and cut. You can see there's a ton of holes in it. And I just place this in here. This is an F bit. It's not a 1/4 inch, it's an F bit. And the reason why I do that is because the outside diameter of our eyelets is practically a 1/4 inch. You can use a 1/4 inch and just force them in there. I use an F bit because it's just a lot easier. And I have an F bit for using for pins. So it's just, I got 3 or 4 of them laying around here. So we're going to raise this up and get to drilling. Now, one of the things you want to do is you don't want to go over to your press and put your eyelets in with the knife still in here. One thing is you won't be able to pull it out until you have to heat everything. So we're going to take the knife out. But the other reason why you want to take the knife out and you want to separate these two pieces is because when you drill, sometimes you'll get this, you'll see this little bit of Kydex material from drilling stuck in between the sheath material. This happened because it came apart slightly as a drilling, but there's pieces like this right here that actually will get stuck, and little pieces like this will get stuck in between. So when you press these two pieces together with your eyelets, that'll be in there. And as you go to start to shape your sheath, shape the Kydex, it'll actually force the two pieces apart, and you'll get these little gaps that are kind of annoying. So I go ahead and I take it apart like this, and I wipe them down. And I make sure that they're nice and clean. And then you can put it back together, and then you can set your eyelets. Now this press over here, this is a Palmgren press. I'll leave a link down below. I believe it was an Amazon link. I'm not 100% sure if I got it from a different company, but if it was an Amazon purchase, I'll leave it there. I'll give you a link down below. If not, I'll give you a different link. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to draw little pencil lines. And it's just a guide to kind of give me an idea on where to cut the material, because I'm not going to sand this all off. I'm going to cut some of it off first. And it's going to come up like this. So this will all be gone, just like you see here. What that does is it allows you to get your finger in here, just like that, and be able to pull the knife out. So, just like that. Okay, one of the little tricks I forgot to tell you about. What you want to do is you want to put paper towel inside here. And the reason why you want to do that is as you start to sand everything down and you start to shape it, you don't get Kydex dust. You know, you can see it on my hands and such here. You don't get all of this back in here again. And you can see these little pieces like this that come off. Little pieces like this here. You don't want that to be inside your sheath because it's hard to get it out. But then just I'll show you another step of what I do to rectify if you do get anything inside. At this point I hit my pencil lines with the eraser, the big eraser here, and get those all off. And then I'll go ahead, that was 80 grit, and I'll go ahead and I'll just start hand sanding these down. I'll do 120, 220, and 400, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so we got it sanded down. I took it to 400 grit, and where that's at, right here. 400 grit, and like I said, this was in, I showed this in a previous video, we're shaping the scales. It's a piece of leather. You could use this as a brand new one. And just a piece of scrap. It's a little stiffer, but this is a nice soft one here. You just put your sandpaper on it, and you can rub it down like that. It gives you a little bit more of a backing, but flexible backing. So you do that. Now though, using either one of these pieces of leather, bring out the next thing. No? Okay. Actually, you do use this. I'll put my paper towel out. What I do is you heat up the edge of the Kydex, and you're just going to blow it across there like this. You're not going to hold it. You're just going to blow it across like that. You're just going to heat up the Kydex, and I'm going to rub it with the leather just to smooth things up. You do your leather, just rub it down. Use a softer one here. And what you're doing is just cleaning up the edges. The torch will actually help melt off or burn any little frays that might be sticking off the Kydex. It helps smooth the edges out. You'll get some guys, they're big proponents, especially your holster guys, that do this, you know, that's basically their side job or their job themselves. They'll use a buffing wheel, and I have done that before on a couple of sheaths, but I don't like, my personal preference is I don't like the really high sheen edge like that. Not a big fan of it, so I don't normally do it. If somebody's like, oh yeah, you know, I want that, then I'll do it. But 99% of the people I make sheaths for, and I've made holster sheaths, I've made sheaths for other people's knives, nobody cares. Nobody cares, you know, the really shiny edge is really nice, but it's just an aesthetic at that point, and I personally don't care, so I don't like it. But what that does is it gives you this edge right here. So as you see, if it'll focus, I gotta come down here maybe. Okay, here. So it gives you a nice clean edge. And yeah, no complaints there. No complaints at all. So next step is we have to get this inside this. One of the things though is it won't fit because this is molded around it. We have to soften this up. So I'll get the heat gun and I slowly soften this up so I can put the knife inside it. And then this is where you get a little bit more particular about how you're forming the knife or the sheath around everything. And you just want to clean things up a little bit like that and get everything out. But what I do is at this point I take the tape off my knife. You see that's the 2 layers of tape right there. I take the tape off this and I use 3-in-1 oil, or you can use butcher block oil, and I did some comments in other videos in the past about different oils, but I take 3-in-1 oil and I just put a generous amount on here and I put it all on the flats and the spine of the knife just like this. I'll just clean this all up, and I got a really good amount on that, if you guys will see that. I got a really good amount on here. But what I do next is bring you guys over here and I use the heat gun, and I just have a simple heat gun like this. Use the heat gun and I'm going to slowly soften all of this up right here. I want to get this all soft right here so I can put my knife in there. Take this off, take your oil blade, your knife, you put it inside here. It's going to find its seat right there, and then I'm going to slowly start crimping this by hand. And some people might want to wear gloves. They might find this a little bit too hot for their fingers. My hands are kind of getting used to it now. My fingers are a little bit tougher, so I get used to it. But you're basically crimping and shaping the side here of the knife, so when you can grab it, it pulls out, and you can still put it back in again, and it has some retention. So pull it out, put it back in again. It's got retention, see, just like that. But yet, pops out like that. So, and the reason why I do oil, and this is a perfect example right here, if you guys see this, see a little bit of particles? You do get a little bit of Kydex dust on there. So yeah, you get the Kydex dust on there. It's not a big deal. You put the knife in there a couple times, wipe it clean, make sure you get it all off, flip the paper towel over, start clean again. If you got to do a little bit more oil, then do a little bit more oil. Again, this knife isn't sharp yet. That sharpening is the last thing you do. And I don't think I really have to do a tutorial on that. You guys have seen me use the Wicked Edge. I'll leave a link in here about the Wicked Edge system, and I'll probably put it in this playlist as well. But so that's it. That's that curve right there. You want to mold that with your fingers. And again, I don't wear gloves because my hands are pretty beat up and they're pretty kind of toughened throughout the years. But you just want to soften it up enough. So now it's definitely retainable, and you'll see it's got a very good similar look to what this is. See? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my Kydex Blade Tech lock on, and I use blue Loctite. I just do a little bit of a dab on each screw, just like that. The Tech lock, you just put these little head posts right through the back, and use your washer, and your washer will just grab a hold of it, and it'll just hold on to it like that. Next one, where's the other? There it is. And it's going to sit on the spine side of the knife, just like this. I'm just going to find my screws. And being a little bit more particular, I like to have my screws. You got to snug. You don't make it real tight. Just got to snug it up. And then I make my screw faces the same direction. So they're going like that, like an X. So that's it. That is it. Kydex Blade Tech lock closes down. It flips like this. Now, usually when you put the Tech lock on, it applies a little bit of pressure at the shoulder right here or something, or maybe it squeezes a little bit of the Kydex or your Holstex or Boltron. You just want to make sure you can get it out. That's a little tight still. That's a little tight. So you want to go back, hit it with the heat gun. You can hit it with the heat gun and loosen it up slightly and make your final adjustments, and then that'd be it. And so, like I said, it's get this chair out of the way. Like I said, you could put this Blade Tech lock, you could put it this way, so then you can clip it onto a backpack strap, and then you can grab a hold of it and pull it out like that, and you have it. You see the reasons I have my sheaths shaped the way they are, I'm just got some oil on it, is because, again, your hand comes up and you grab, and as you go to pull, you automatically have a grip. Your finger just falls into that place there. So, leave your comments, leave everything down below. Again, I'm open to suggestions. If you guys got other ideas or any tidbits, leave them down below. Hey, let's share. This is a community. If you guys are here looking at my videos, you want to learn, and I haven't been doing it that long, and I'm sure there's more efficient ways or better ways to do it, maybe a different way. Comment, leave a suggestion or something like that. I'd be willing to try it, and if it works out, I'll even put it on video. But that is it. So I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this up, and Hannah's knife set is done. The next video revolving around these will be the reveal. That's right. There'll be a reveal on these coming out probably in November, first part of December, because these are Christmas presents. So until the next video, guys, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Keep me from the bottom of the YouTube bucket. Don't forget that little red button down there that says subscribe. Check out these other videos over here, or down here, wherever you're looking. Catch you in the next one. Bye.